Okay, so which phenotype reacts with anti-F? It's a question, and these are the choices out of the Weiner terminology. And so anti-F is the antibody to little c, little e. So if you have the F antigen, so F antigen means you have little c, little e. Now, a reaction is an antibody and antigen reaction. So that's those bonding together. So if we're getting a reaction, which phenotype reacts with anti-F? We already have the antibody, and you know you need an antibody and an antigen to make the reaction. So we know that we need the antigen on the patient RBC, because we're using, if you go back, you know, I told you need one antigen, one antibody, you need one known and one unknown, and then you need your red blood cell and your sera. So we've got our anti-F, which is our anti-sera. That is our known antibody. So now we need an unknown antigen. So for this case, we're looking for the antigen on the red blood cells. So we need little c and little e. Now we come down here and figure out which one has little c and which one has little c and little e. So R1R, how do you write that out? So big R
RH1
is big D. So R1 first is big R is big D, and then your 1 correlates to C. So your C is big, and you got little e, and then R1 is the same as the first R run. So you got big D, big C, little e. You know these?
You know, when I forgot those, this DC, I mean C and E, little c and little e.
Yep.
And you know, I forgot when she put on the questions, you know, mesh. I remember just two, and I forgot another one.
Okay, well, I have a really good video on how to figure them out, and it's on the RH video. And I think I need to make a short one just for this Weiner terminology. And so go check that one out if you get a chance to. So big R is big D, and it doesn't mention anything about one or a single apostrophe, so it's a little c. And then you've got your two. Two is E, so you know that one gets big now. And then R2 again is going to be the same one. And then R1, R2, we've done both of those. So look at R1, we got big D, big C, little e. And then R2, we got big D, little c, big E. Now, the thing about the F antigen, if they said that that it's reacting with anti little c and anti little e, then it could be anywhere on either side. But if we're talking about anti-F, we know that it has to be both on the same side of the slash here, because the genotype is first for the haplotype together. So in here you've got a big C in both of them, so that one's not going to work. Your little r has little c and little e on both sides. So you could have gotten it from mom or dad, so that one works so far. R2, you've got a little c, but you don't have a little e. And then, like I said, it has to be on the same side. So you've got a little e in one, and then you've got a little c in another, but you need them on the same side of that slash. Because if you're getting the F antigen, then they have to be on the same, from the same parent. So your correct answer would be little r, little r. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, and then the other one was.
Let me just take a picture of that.
Okay, let me go up a little.
All right, now.
Let me unhighlight them so you can see them better. Another one was, which one is heterozygous for C? Heterozygous for, I think it's big C. Okay, so if it's heterozygous for big C, I think the choices were, what does that look like, first of all? Heterozygous for C. Will it be, so you're going to have big C positive and you're going to be little c positive. So you'll have big C and you'll have little c. So we know that this is what we're looking for. So if it's on a panel, it would be big C positive, little c positive. And if it was a part of this DCE terminology, then we know that we need one big C and one little c.
Okay, homozygous for C.
Okay, so our choices are R1R, and next one's R2R2. And so we already had that one. And then the other one was R1R1 and little r1, little r1. So R1, R1. And then the last one is little r1. There's that. There we go. And then little r1. Okay, so these are our answer choices. So you come down here and we can do these out. And you can either look at it and say, okay, you need, on one side, you need a big C and one side you need a little c. So you can look at it and say, okay, I need one R1 and one R0. So whether it's big R or little r, I'm going to need one R1 and one R0. So we can look here and R1R. Can you do that one for me? Is it going to be big D or little d first?
It's D, big D.
Big D?
And then little c?
Nope, this one's going to be big C because the 1 correlates with C. So that makes that big.
Okay.
And then little e.
Uh-huh.
Because it doesn't mention anything about E or 2. And then the second one is little r. So you know that one.
Mm-hmm. It's D. Okay.
Yep, little d, little c, little e. And then this last one.
Oh, okay. Okay, so whenever you saw the R and the small one on top, it's going to be already so like a D and C and E.
Do what?
When you have the R and the number 1 on top, it's going to be D all the time, D and C, E. The number 1 is for C?
1 is for C, and 2 is for E. And so when you have that number, that means you capitalize it. And then if it's a big R, it's a big D. If it's a little r, it's a little d. And then 1 is C and 2 is E. So if you have a 2, you have a big E. And if it's a 1, you have a big C. And I have I have a video on that one too. So you can always watch that one and that'll clear it up, I think, real quick. So your little r is for little d. And then it's got a 1, which is C. So the C is big. And then it says nothing about the E. So you got a little E. And then your little r again is going to be a little d. And then it's 1. So it'll match the first one, big C, little e. Now you look at it here. And you need one big C and one little c. So does this one have a big C and a little c?
No, not the first one.
Yep, it's got a big C on that side and a little c on the other.
Oh,
and heterozygous means you get one from each parent. So these will be on different sides of the slash. So this one works so far. Now how about R2, R2? Do you have a little c and a little c? So that's homozygous for little c. Then this one has a big C and a big C. So that's not heterozygous. That's homozygous for big C. And then this one's got a big C and a big C. So what does that mean? Homozygous or heterozygous for C?
Okay. See. This is mesh everything, so it's homozygous.
Homozygous? So it's homozygous for big C. But we're looking for the heterozygous for C, meaning one big and one little. So that would be R. Our answer would be R, 1R. Big
So
R, 1, little r. Yep.
Okay.
Whereas this first one was
Is the double R. Double R.
Oh, thank you. Yes, double R.
Goodness.
And then I think there was one last one, and then y'all will be done. So let's see here. Get on the next page. So the last one was a question. The person, help me out here, Lily. I think it's the person was making anti-CE.
Not really sure, but I think so. Need to look for my notes. Or was that the one that when we cut off?
Well, I think we finished it before we cut it off.
Okay. I'll be back. I gotta find it.
And I think it was something along the lines, if the person is making anti-CE, what is their genotype?
Yep.
Is that correct?
Yep, anti-CE and the genotype.
Okay. And then, and so your options were R2, R2. And then R1, R0. 1, R0. R1, R2. And the last choice was little r1, little r.
R2, R1, 2, little r, that little thing on the top in R.
So little apostrophe.
Okay. Yeah, there you
go. And what was the second one? Was it the same? R1, R0, or R1, R1?
There was only 4.
Well, this last one, the little R1, is that correct?
Yep,
the correct answer choice, right?
Or, oh no. I'd have to see. Oh no, it was R2, R2.
For the little one? Oh, I know the answer. I was the last choice.
Oh, you just want me to list the letters and all that?
Oh, I see it now. Okay, never mind. I just had to look at the genotype for the right answer. I was making sure I have a little mark there next to the second R, but it looked like it was just the R by itself, and it is. Okay, so R2, R2, we already decided is big D, little c, big E, then big D, little c, big E. Now R1, 0, R0. So big R means big D, 1 means C, and then it says nothing about E, so it's a little e. And then for R0, that's the same as an R by itself. So big D and nothing means little c, little e. And then your little r is a little d, and then the 1 is C, so you got a big C. And then you've got nothing about E, so it's a little e. And then your next one is little r by itself, which is BCE. Now, if the person is making anti-C and E, what is their genotype? So if they're making an antibody, do they have it on their antigen? Do they have it on their red cells? If they're making an antibody, do they have it on their red cell?
Yes.
Nope. Because if you can only, nope, not on RBC, no antigen, because you only make antibodies for foreign antigens. So if you have the antigen, you're not going to make the antibodies for it because your body sees it as yourself. So if you're making an antibody, it's not going to be on the red blood cell, which means it's not going to be on the antigen. So in their genotype is like the antigen of their cells. It's what's actually what you have on your red cells. So will not be in genotype. Now we can come down and look at these. So we've got R2, R2. So we need our genotype to not have a big C and not have a little e. So does this one have a big C?
No.
Does it have a little e on either side?
No.
Okay. So that one looks good so far. And now R1, R0, does it have a big C?
Yes.
Yep. Does it have a little e?
Yes.
Yep, has a little e on both sides.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so that one doesn't work. Does this one have a big C?
The next one have a big C. Yes.
Yep. And then does it have a little e?
Yes.
Yep. So that one's out. Little R1, little r. Does that have a big C in it?
Yes.
Yep. Does it have a little e in it?
Yes.
Yeah, on both sides. So those are out. So you know your correct answer is this R2, R2.
The top one?
Yep. Makes sense why? Why this one is not in the genotype or not on the red blood cells, and why this first one is? Because this one is which phenotype reacts with anti-F, and then this one is if your body is making the antibody, what's the genotype?
Gina. Double R.
Yep.
DCE. Yeah.